Hi and welcome to Two Wheels Better, and we're home on the range or back at the ranch, whatever you want to say. But this is BMW's new R1200C Cruiser, but I'm too hot to talk about it while I've got my Maverick outfit on, so I'll get this off and then I'll tell you all about it. What you're seeing now is a true reflection of myself. Now I'm feeling somewhat cooler having got my gear off, and what you've got here is just part of the acres of chrome that are on this BMW. From stem to stern, it's either polished aluminium, highly polished chromium plate or satin finished steel. The whole thing is superb. Well, I suppose the most dominant feature of the BMW is this massive alloy forging, which is the lower link of the wishbone suspension for the front telelever. These aren't telescopic front forks as such as we know them. There's the stanchion, this is the slider, but there's no hydraulics in there. It's all in the centre, as in the spring. And as I say, that actually dominates the whole machine. There's no mistaking that one. But down on the front wheels here, as you can see, they're spoke wheels, but these have got tubeless tyres on. Now anyone who knows about tyres and spoke wheels, the spokes let the air out, but not these, because the spokes actually run to the edge of the rim and come out just round the edge here, which is really clever. So normally spokes in the centre, these on the edge, tubeless tyres, but still the old classic look. Brembo calipers and discs, floating discs at that. Well, back up top, on top of the forks, we've got the instrument panel, but it's a work of art, this one is. This sort of heavy metal theme is carried right through the bike. So here we have this satin chrome finished little panel with all the indicator lights for your indicator, battery warning, choke and all the rest of it. Even the key, just look at this, an engineered key, would you believe, on a solid steel key fob. No little hole in there to put it on your key ring, but it'll probably knock a hole in your trousers anyway. And then you've got this rather classic styled Speedo there, very nice with the black lettering on the white background. This metal finish treatment extends to every part of the bike. Even the hoses are covered in a stainless steel sort of spring, but it gives that metallic look to it all. They're not braided, just a nice little covering there. Moving up to the actual control levers, both the brake and the clutch, they've even got a satin chrome finish reservoir cap on there. Fits nicely with the matte black there. Then look at these for handlebar grips here, chrome either end, but a leather sleeve in the middle. Very nice. The rest of the gear is familiar BMW indicators, switches, etc. So moving through the bike and all these massive castings, this cast aluminium section here is part of the frame, but it neatly houses the oil cooler within there. But again, a very imposing piece of kit. That comes down, more little louvered features, a bit sort of Flash Gordon-y really, but very nice. Massive chrome covers to the valve covers on top of each cylinder. There's loads of neat touches on this bike, including the plug covers, which normally are sort of everyday things, but these are neatly moulded straight into the top of the valve cover there. Very neat. Then moving along, you see the tubular part of the frame here, which extends from that casting at the front, making the pivot for the swinging arm here on the back of the gearbox, and then monoshock mounting down here to the classic BMW shaft drive, and another spoked wheel at the back in the same sort of way as the front one is, allowing a tubeless tyre. Moving up to the seat, or I should really say saddle, because calling it a seat does it a disservice. It's all trimmed in leather, beautifully comfortable, beautiful shape, and not only that, it's even got a little backrest. This pillion pad here doubles up as a backrest. You just pull a catch here, click it up, and there we go. Easy rider. So Martin, this is the beast. What is the philosophy behind this new projectile?
Well, it's very simple, Jeff. As always, it's about the market. The world market for cruising motorcycles is expanding rapidly. Indeed now, in the Western world, the market is worth about 300,000 units, which is about a third of the total available market. So every 1 in 3 motorcycles that's built today is a cruiser.
So BMW didn't want to miss out on this then?
Of course not.
Lucrative market.
Of course not.
But it was a big step change for you though, wasn't it? I mean, you've never been associated with anything like the sort of custom cruiser market before. Must have taken some soul searching.
No, it's an entirely new design, and you can see from the BMW Cruiser's appearance, very radical, but I would say also very up to date. It incorporates all of the modern technological features that have been the trademark of BMW in recent years.
Yeah, because you've managed to retain a classic look to it all, but it's got your telelever front end, the monolever back end, a lot of high technology in this, and it's fuel injection. I don't know of another sort of cruiser bike which has got all these gizmos.
Well, of course the answer is there isn't another one, because generally speaking, existing cruisers in the market tend to be clones of a rather well-known American brand.
Who would that be?
But this is a very radical approach from BMW, and they have set about designing a motorcycle that will fulfill those cruising needs and requirements, but also offer the customer the very latest in technology. On this particular model we have ABS brakes. The bike will come fitted with a catalytic converter as standard. The bike will meet all of the new emission regulations that are going to be required well into the next century, and it comes with a whole host of creature comforts.
And so you'll actually be poaching as well, won't you? This won't, well, perhaps it will apply to the traditional BMW rider. I don't know, he hasn't had the option before, has he? But I mean, there's a new market out there as well, obviously. Yeah,
as I said before, the market for cruisers is expanding rapidly. As motorcycling becomes more and more of a leisure pursuit, then we really foresee many car customers, BMW car customers, looking at the cruiser and thinking, hey, you know, this is a really attractive product. I think I might like one of these.
Yeah, well, I'm sure knowing BMW, you've done your marketing well. Now, I couldn't help but notice your discreet little tie clip there with the cruiser logo on it. This is also something, it's a whole lifestyle, isn't it, you've gone after?
Well, absolutely. As we are launching the cruiser motorcycle, then there is a complete range of clothing and accessories which we have titled the Cruiser World, which comes with the bike.
So you buy the bike first, and then you have to save up for the world to follow, do you?
Well, no. Good value for money is always affordable.
And can we see some of this gear?
Yes, of course, Jeff. Yeah.
So the Cruiser World, Martin, we've got wearing apparel here. Very smart it is too. Tell us a bit about this.
Yeah. Well, with the Cruiser, as I was saying before, with the introduction of the Cruiser, we're bringing in complete clothing ranges, which we're titling Cruiser World, and we have 2 completely brand new riding suits. The first one are the Canyon leathers, which are finished in brown. Superb quality 2-piece leathers, beautifully styled, available in both ladies and men's fittings. There are waistcoats and matching kidney belts finished in the same high quality leather to match in with the suit. So
this denim one, this is something new for BMW, surely?
Yeah, this is a totally new material that's been specifically developed for BMW. It's Innotex. It's a mixture of a heavy-duty cotton twill which is interwoven with Kevlar. Now, this makes a very strong abrasion-resistant material. It's also light and comfortable to wear, and of course we can cut and style it in a cruiser fashion.
The BMW Cruiser is something that you would never have thought BMW would have made, but in a world where the cruiser market has gone from only 1/6 of the market to over 1/3 in the past 10 years, BMW thought differently. Very differently, and this is it, the R1200C Cruiser. Sculptured from the solid is how it looks, but solid as it might look, this is no unwieldy, wheezy pretender to the Harley throne. This is a motorbike in its pure, no-frill sense, and a high-tech one to boot. A hallmark of BMWs for nearly 75 years, the horizontally opposed flat-twin engine is their biggest ever. A fuel-injected 1200cc monster with bucket-sized pistons that give a whole new meaning to the word character. At 61 horsepower, it's not going to frighten you, but bags of low-down torque burbling away from the cleverly muted exhaust lets you cruise smoothly through the 5-speed gearbox in real cruiser style. But if the engine's got character, the rest has got panache. While other cruisers tend to be very conventional, this one has the much acclaimed telelever front end and flaunts the technology with a gleaming alloy wishbone controlling a single front suspension unit. The rear end uses the well-proven monolever setup in conjunction with another BMW hallmark, shaft drive. All in all, this cruiser rides like no other. It's more of a hustler than a high plains drifter, giving a firm but subtle ride with no wallowing. But watch out for decking out at only modest angles of lean. Brembo 4-pot squeezing twin 300mm floating discs up the front and a single Brembo setup at the rear gives the sort of braking that this bike deserves. Power, but subtle with it. At 256 kilos, it's no lightweight, but then again, a cruiser is built for comfort, not for speed, and in any case, it's no heavier than its compatriots in this class. Talking of comfort, the rider's seat is more like a saddle than a seat and really gives you that part of the machine feel. Not so sure about the pillion though, more like a bird's perch. Pun intended, of course. At $9,750 you can have your cruiser in this rather classic ivory, a cool black or a snazzy canyon red metallic. But we warned, you're buying into a lifestyle here and this is just the start. BMW call it their cruiser world, an emotionally satisfying experience, which translated means 27 items of rider and lifestyle equipment for you to choose from. Mind you, I must say I rather like the Maverick suit. I'll just have to buy a BMW now.
Well, we're back here again at my gaff, and because Paul can't be with us because currently he's, as always, road testing a bike, he's actually, just to get into it, you know, he just doesn't leave me alone. He sent me a fax, on which he's made a number of enquiries. I feel like rolling it up and throwing it in the bin, to be honest with you, but fellow presenter, got to, you know, go with the flow. And what he's asked here is, why does every biker have to look like a biker? Because, I mean, we're all individuals, but somehow we do seem, and the trend is to go cloney. Black leather gear, or even one-piece race suits, purple, green, pink, with blue spots on. Some fairly wild gear. And granted, when you're in the environment of motorcyclists, you do look rather smart. And when you're on your bike, you look the business. But sometimes, out of the environment of motorcycling, you sort of look wallyish, really, don't you? So, there are an awful lot of people who actually want to look bit sort of more middle of the road, high street shopper if you want, or whatever, not looking like they've just arrived on a bike. So what is there? Well, to answer your question, Paul, alternative materials first of all, denim as I've got here, and of course general materials like cordura and such, so anoraki if you want. The important fact being is everybody still wants to be protected. Well, you can be. I mean, tonight I've got on here a regular polo shirt, not a problem, and also a regular pair of denim jeans. But I lie, because I haven't. Just take a look at here. I've actually got a pair of protected, purposely built motorcycle denim jeans. This particular pair originating from Holland. So we'll just move off that a little bit, just to start the ball rolling. So you go in a shop and you say, I want to be cool in the summer, warm in the winter. So first thing the salesman does is say leather or material clothing. So you naturally would say, well, I want leather because it's protective. Well, the first thing is, so some of the material gear. You also say, well, I want to be cool in the summer. So Belstaff here on this particular jacket, the Warrior jacket, they've gone and put some Hi-Tech liner, oily stuff, open the zips, let the air in. You can remove the liner here, or you can even keep the liner in for the winter. So they've gone and got the job sorted, but it's still in a leather. So another company, in this case I've chosen this one by a company called Spidey, fancy Italian gear. They've done exactly the same as Belstaff. They've got lots of slots and zips. In this case they put it into the sleeves here, and they have the removable liner, and that really is cool. And in this body armour just as well, just to protect you. And that's cool. And that's a couple of £100 as well as the Belstaff being a couple of £100. The one detriment about such as this and the Belstaff leather gear is it's not waterproof. But then again, you can't have everything, can you? And if you do want it, I am sure Spidey have got a protective, waterproof, cool in the summer jacket, warm in the winter jacket. Just the same as Belstaff, they've got a product to suit, just the same as every manufacturer does really. But we're on about protection with a little bit of style that doesn't necessarily look like you've come on a bike, which then brings us down to the denims. The denims I've got on here, I've got Kevlar in them, on the knees. So here we are. This particular pair, slightly different to the ones I've got on. The pair I've got on by a company called DC, Holland, cost you about 60 quid. This particular pair, a little more expensive, £70, by a company called Giali. They're Italian. In there, not only do they look like a regular denim, I mean that's fair to see, but they've got Kevlar patches. You remove so you can stick them in the wash, stick them back on again when you go out there. They'll protect you in respect to abrasive resilience. That's the hit the deck, slide along the ground. That is a good abrasive resistant material. But then again, you've got the question of about the hard impact. Well, they've covered that aspect as well, because this particular company, for extra 25 quid, will supply you with these. Now I know what you're thinking, and it's not the protective area you imagine. It's for in your legs, and they stick down there and it wraps round your knees. Probably don't feel they're on, and if you do, just inspires you with a bit of confidence. And they make a brilliant package. And really, I can't for a minute pretend it's going to be as protective as a set of leather jeans with Kevlar, with protection, but certainly as good as a pair of leather jeans that hasn't got any body armour protection and no Kevlar inserts. Pretty good stuff. So you get the whole package there sorted for just over 100 quid, which is not dissimilar to the price of a pair of leather jeans. That's the bottom half done. Let's move on to the jackets. So DC, what they've done, they've produced this one that does resemble a regular denim jacket, like your Wranglers, Levi's and so on. They've indicated that it's a protective jacket, just as a form of advertising, which I can't say I blame them, and there's a nice embroidered bike on the back. That'll cost you just under 100 quid, but that is fully Kevlar bound. It really will be protective. Be flipping freezing in the winter like, and I should imagine fairly damp and wet if it rained, but that's not what we're aiming at. We're aiming at casual looking gear with a bit of protection. What these Italian guys have done at this jacket at £140, Giali have just, they've sort of gone into the warrior aspect. Lots of lumps on it, and it does look a bit Arnold Schwarzenegger-ish, but at least again you know you're protected, and you've got all this high density padding. You've also got surely Kevlar in there, and you've also got the facility, as the label indicates, and it reminds you that you can put in your various different body protections. So to answer Paul's fast questions, and he's got an awful lot on here, I think I've covered it all, apart from the final one, and that is, do I get something for nout? Well, no, Paul. To answer your question, you don't get anything for nout. If you get your hard-earned doing cash out, and it does come easy to Paul, I do tell you this, the truth is you can actually kit yourself out with a set of denims and a good jacket for about 150 quid. Then you can zoom up to a couple of hundred quid, and you can get your fancy Anaraki style Spiddy jacket, Dainese jacket, and many, many more of that style of jacket for a couple of hundred quid. And I reckon that you could look quite respectable going in for a bit of afternoon tea, scones and cream.
The first bike I ever rode on two wheels better was a Triumph Thunderbird, and I remember saying then that it was pretty good. There wasn't too much room for improvement. Well, today this is a journalist delight. We're at the very grand Bosworth Hall near Leicester for the launch of the brand new Triumph Thunderbird Sport. It's taken 2 years for the Thunderbird Sport project to be completed. Its first styling sketches were produced back in 1995, when Triumph set out to design a sports version of the Thunderbird with improved performance, but it still had to retain the classic styling, albeit a little more aggressive. The riding position is more sporty than the Thunderbird, but nowhere near as cramped as some of today's modern sports bikes. So here is the smart-looking brand new Thunderbird Sport. I say smart-looking, it's smart-looking if you like retro bikes, and it really is a retro bike with a little bit of a difference because they've sacrificed no performance at all on this. It's really good. Not just the engine is different on this from the original Thunderbird, there's lots of other different bits and pieces. Starting at the front end, the brakes, well, the brakes aren't different, but you've got twin discs on this one as opposed to the single disc on the other Thunderbird, and it does stop an awful lot better. And for those people who like bolting other bits and pieces onto the bike, there's a whole host of bolt-on bits and pieces that you can buy for this. Some of them which are interchangeable with the other Thunderbird. You can get different seats. This has got the King and Queen style seat with the nice little studs there, like almost quilted. Very, very smart, very comfy. There's a rack for the back and grab rails, a couple of different types of them. There's also a single seat configuration which comes with a colour matched tailpiece. There's a fly screen for the front that you can buy, and loads of other chrome bits and pieces if you like polishing your bike as much as you like riding it. Well, it doesn't sound bad, does it? There's really not much to complain about with the new T-Bird Sport, but you know, nothing is perfect. Just take a look at this. A nice chrome petrol cap, looks really nice, but it doesn't lock. Now, I can think of one or two neighbourhoods where that wouldn't be there for very long. But I've actually come for Wayne today because I've promised him I'll take him out, so I'll just see if I can rouse him. Wayne, are you playing out? Oh well, must be dredging his moat or something, eh? The 885cc liquid-cooled 3-cylinder engine has been boosted from 69 to a respectable 82 bhp, bringing it almost up to the same power as Triumph's Tiger. Front suspension on the Sport is 43mm forks with triple rate springs. The rear is a single monoshock and it's all fully adjustable. The 17-inch spoked wheels have wider alloy rims to accept modern sports tyres, and if there is such a thing as a nice looking tyre, then the Avons fitted as original equipment are certainly that, giving excellent performance and inspiring great confidence, while still retaining a classic retro look. Sport by name and fairly sporty by nature, the gearbox is a smooth and accurate 6-speed, and it'll pull cleanly in top from just 2000 RPM, and there's no doubting the quality of Triumph's 3-cylinder motor. The riding position is just about spot on for this style of bike, although I personally would invest in a fly screen, as any sustained high-speed travel tends to become hard work on the arms. By now you'll all be dying to rush out and buy one. Well, you'll have to wait until late October. You can have your new Thunderbird Sport in racing yellow and black or tornado red and black, and it's likely to cost around £7,800.